The numbers are overwhelming, and so are the needs. Children burdened by adult worries.
I'm one of the nurses, so we see a lot of cases that make us really sad. There's so many children who are looked after by grandparents or nobody.
Babies with no shoes.
But same problem arises in that school. So
Brothers who take turns going to school because no one can pay their fees. His face and tiny knees scarred from infection. They are just numbers.
and this one.
Names on a list that will determine if they eat, if they're clothed, if they receive attention at all. A list of double orphans. Both parents gone forever.
Some of these kids have seen their parents die before their very own eyes, and they need a lot of counseling and help.
Children forced into a life where abuse is abundant.
They decided to move the children from their own homes to neighbors because older men were taking advantage, more especially on the young girl child.
Hunger is definite. Sickness is never short-lived. And for many of them, health care doesn't exist.
We had one little boy that came in that was only about so high, and he had walked for 5 miles without his grandmother, and we had to give him medicines, some that went outside, some that we went inside, and we had to tell him what to do for everyone until he was right. That particular little boy we gave a little car to, and he was so excited to have the first toy he had ever got.
Many of these children are the heads of their households. No mother or father to raise them, lead them, steer them into the right direction. But one organization is working to meet their needs, bringing seeds of hope to a destitute land.
And I believe that the world needs to know that the children of Swaziland, some of them might be orphaned, some of them might be poor, some of them might be infected, but they all have the ability to do something wonderful.
Led by Cynthia Prime, SOHO, which stands for Saving Orphans Through Healthcare and Outreach, collaborates with organizations around the world to bring light to children orphaned by AIDS and poverty.
4 years ago, we first came to Swaziland and became aware of the needs that you have.
Swaziland, a tiny country, yet an epicenter for AIDS. It has the highest prevalence of HIV in the world, and each year thousands of children become orphans because the virus has killed their parents. It's estimated some 120,000 children will become orphans by the end of the year.
We basically take the scripts from the nurses or the doctors, and we fill them here. We're mainly treating worms and scabies and tinea. We've got some Mylanta for upset stomachs, and mainly a lot of Panadol because there's a lot of pain here.
Through health clinics, community outreach, food drives, and counseling, SOHO works to stop the pain felt in child-headed households at 3 sites across southern Africa. The challenge is real. The need for help immediate. These children, many who head their households, survive off a daily diet of porridge and beans. Each day, the older ones feed their younger siblings first, carefully cooling the mixture with a gentle puff of breath. Once the babies have eaten, the older boys and girls take a bite for themselves, a selfless act in times of despair. Many days, this is the only meal they get. Even when it sours, it becomes another taste for another time. And fighting hunger is just part of the problem. At the SOHO Welcome Center, an engineer from Andrews University tries to figure out how to access clean water after finding cow and goat dung in the water supply.
And of course, they pollute the water. There's cattle droppings there, and the urine. This all goes into the system that is used by the children and the community.
So much work for SOHO and its partners. So much to be done. Mouths to feed, feet to measure for new school shoes, a new building to provide a haven for abused, neglected, and impoverished children. Hope for the boys and girls who were told that their lives would be nothing.
I want to tell you this morning that you are as important as I am, as anybody else around here. And you are not to let anybody tell you that you are less because you are an orphan or that you are poor. Because God has given you a brain to think and a heart to be strong, so that if you know that you are powerful, it doesn't matter what anybody else says about you. You will say to yourself, I may be poor today, I don't have to be poor forever. You may say, my parents are late, but I am here, that I may be slow in school, but I can work hard. And that will make a difference for you. I want you to say, I am powerful. You are not powerful just because you say so. You're powerful because you have God on your side.
Bruised, but not broken. SOHO's children find the heart and the strength to celebrate life. Their song, one of faith, triumph, and praise, letting the world know there is hope being planted, one seed at a time.
Sometimes we think we're not doing anything, but then somebody comes up to thank us because the year before we gave them some medicine and now they are cured.
Jesus, 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 how wonderful is your name. Jesus, Jesus.